Hello, friends. Lindsay Nadler here, life and business coach. I know that we've got some new people on the page, so I wanted to hop in here and I wanted to chat with you guys about something that for me as a life coach, as a business coach, as someone who's been around for a hot minute, that I see people saying and then doing over and over again. And I really feel like it's one of the things that keep us broke and stuck in our lives. And I wanted to talk with you about what those statements are and how you can switch them very simply. And you're going to begin to see things open up in your life. Hey, Julian. So there are 3 statements that I hear people say all the time when I'm working with clients. These are the most common statements that come up. If you're going after anything of importance in your life, where you're making your dream a reality, maybe you've got a side hustle that you're trying to make full time, or you're just starting the side hustle, or whatever your passion is, whatever your dream is, whatever the thing is that you're about to launch into, some of these things you're going to be tempted to say a lot, to think a lot, and then act from that place. And what I'm going to teach you how to do today is not stay broke and stuck because of the way that you think and the way that you believe. And I'm going to offer you some simple ways that you can shift those things. So if you're with me, you can just say amen, okay? If you're picking up what I'm putting down, let me know. So I actually, when I work with my clients, I do my best to ban them from saying this. I do my best to make this like a hard rule, and I do my best in my home as well with my family members. Like, no, we don't go there. That's not how we're going to operate. Okay. So here are the 3 statements. These could be things that you're saying, or things that you are thinking on a regular basis, or for many of us, they've just become our go-to knee-jerk response at life anytime things get hard, or anytime we're met with the natural resistance that comes with what I call making a diamond. So if you haven't listened to my podcast yet, I have a whole episode about overcoming resistance, and I really feel like it is the thing that so many of us are shocked about, or we don't know what to do, or we love to spiritualize our dysfunction. And we say, well, God just may not want me to be doing this right now. Now, I'm not here to argue with you or get into all that, but we need to take a hard look at why is that resistance there? How can it serve me? And how is it going to make me better? So, but that's a side note. So go listen to that podcast and you'll understand what I'm saying. But here are the 3 statements. The first one is, I don't know. The second one is, I'm confused. And the third one is, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just really overwhelmed right now. So 3 statements that if you can learn to identify when you're thinking this, when you're saying this, and why you're saying them, and then how we can shift them, it's going to change your life. Okay. So 3 statements are, again, I don't know, I'm confused, and I'm overwhelmed. Okay. Now, this is not like a judgy post. I'm just like your coach. Remember, I'm not your cheerleader. Don't let the blonde hair fool you. And I'm just here to real talk with you for a minute. If your knee-jerk response to everything that's going on is that, you will remain not super happy in your life. You might experience feeling stuck, and especially if you're trying to run a business, if you've got a side hustle, if you're constantly thinking and your constant knee jerk is, I don't know, I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, guaranteed you are probably going to experience some brokenness and some stuckness. So here's what happens with the statement of I'm overwhelmed. Okay. Most of the time it's coming from a place of there is something new that's coming my way that I don't know how to do, or there's a lot of different things that are happening right now, and I feel out of control. If we will pause for a minute and go, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. What am I thinking about this situation? Okay. A lot of times we confuse our feelings and our thoughts. And if we'll just be self-aware, emotionally mature adults, okay, this is about emotional adulthood, which means that we don't have to react to everything we feel, that we can go, okay, that's all right. I'm feeling this, and stop judging ourselves for feeling a certain way. It just is what it is. Okay. So stop beating yourself up for how you're feeling. First of all, it's like, this is the feeling. What am I thinking? Because your life, listen to me, my friend. I love you. I want you to be successful. I want you to live a life that is wildly alive and free, and I want you to go after it. I want you to make your dreams a reality. I want you to live every day connected to your passion and setting the world on fire. Like, go for it. I'm the go for it girl, okay? But here's what I want you to know. Your life is moving in the direction of your most dominant thought. Your thoughts are creating your world. Because your thoughts create your feelings create your actions create the results in your life. That's fact, okay? So a lot of times when we feel overwhelmed, okay, it's because something new is happening, or there's a lot of things going on that are beyond, or we feel like are out of control. And so what we can do when that happens is to go back. What am I thinking? 9 times out of 10, your thought process is going to be wrapped around something that is based in fear, or you feeling like you're not enough. Fear or fear of not being enough, okay? So I need you to understand that being overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed when something new is happening, you've never done it before, like you're in business and you're trying to figure out all of these things, like how to do Facebook ads and how to get your website up, or how to market and how to do this, and like you're learning something new. Allow yourself to learn something new and refuse overwhelm and confusion as a way of life. So what it's like, I see so many entrepreneurs quit because they refuse to get past the overwhelm. They refuse to believe that they can learn new things and that they can do hard things. And so overwhelm is not like, cannot be a way of living for you. So one thing that you can switch is, what am I afraid of? Get to the root of that, and then you can change it. So for a lot of you, it's fear of failure. Fear that or a feeling like, or you think you're stupid, or that you just feel like, or you think that you'll never be able to learn it, or you'll never be able to learn it or figure it out in enough time. And so it's like, why bother? Why should I even do it? And so I want you to get to the root of that fear, get to the root, what are you thinking, and then change it. Okay, so that for me, I'll just tell you some things that I use when that feeling of overwhelm, which I'm like, I'm not going there, because overwhelm is going to cause me to feel like I can't do it, and thus I will stay stuck and I won't take action. For those of you that feel overwhelmed in your life right now, what action are you taking? It's probably nothing. Probably not. Your action is actually inaction. So when that overwhelm starts to happen, I will go take a big deep breath, get curious. All right. So what am I thinking? Oh, somebody just dropped off a package at my house that scared me for a minute. Live video. What can you do? So anyways, so I'll say, what am I thinking? And the thought is always like, this is too hard. And so then I have to replace it. And what I know to be true, and I believe this thought, is I can do hard things, because I've proven to myself that at this point in my life, I have done a lot of hard things. And so I know I'm going, I can do hard things. I can figure this out. I believe that there is a solution to every problem. Let me find the solution. And because I am so dialed in and connected to my passion, because passion is everything, I am not going to let anything overwhelm me to the point of I stay stuck for a certain amount of time, because that would not be in the best interest of the people that I'm put on this earth to serve and to make an impact in their life. So if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, let me know. These are just some simple shifts that you can use to get rid of the overwhelm and the I'm confused, the I don't know statements. Okay. So when you say I'm confused and I'm overwhelmed, what can you What's the thought you can replace it with? For me, it's there's a solution to every problem. I just haven't found it yet, and I'm on my way to finding it. If I am like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, what am I thinking? So it's like, what am I afraid of? And it's like, I can do hard things. Some of you don't understand how powerful your thoughts are. You know, what is the proverb that says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he? We're told to be transformed by the way that we think. It's so powerful, so powerful. So I want to encourage you, overwhelm and confusion, that is not something that we allow ourselves to continually think and feel to the point of staying stuck and not taking action in the direction of our dreams. So what can you switch the phrase to today? What are the areas in your life that do feel that you're like, yeah, I'm not taking action because that's the first thing that comes up is overwhelm, or I'm confused. And how can we switch that to a thought that serves us and a feeling that propels us forward? Okay. The other statement. So we've talked about I'm confused and I'm overwhelmed. The other statement, and this one is like, oh man, like when my clients do this and when my friends and like when people do this, I'm just like I'm like that SNL character. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That Kristen Wiig character. She's like, you know, if y'all know what I'm talking about, let me know. So I'm like not being an idiot on Facebook Live. But this is, so when you ask a question or there's something that they are required to do in their business or their life, the question is, I don't know. 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 The reality is that you do know. You do know the answer. So many times we are afraid of the answer, what the answer would require of us, what the answer might entail on the other end, and what it might mean about how we're thinking and how we're living our lives. So I was actually talking with a one-on-one client about this yesterday, and it's fascinating. She was telling me we were talking about, I was actually talking with her about a new program that I want to launch, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. I was kind of getting her feedback on what's the best thing that you like about group coaching, and what would you love in an environment like that, and what don't you like, and what were your struggles, and what have you gone through. And she was saying that what she was met with, in this particular course that she bought, there was this workbook and they're asking her all these questions, and she was met with this, like these questions. She was going, I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of these. I don't know the answers to these. Like she hadn't stopped to like give the answer, to find the answer, to soul search for the answer, to take action, to figure out the answer. That's the issue. And so she was like, I don't know. 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 And so what that statement did to her, she was like, I don't know the answers to any of this, so I can't move forward. And so she didn't finish the course. And so it's like, oh my gosh, like what if you could learn how to get past the I don't know? So the reality is that you do know the answer. You're just afraid of what it is. And here's how this happens for us, okay? So for so many of us, we have grown up where everyone's giving us the answers, right? Like we learn, like we don't want to have to think to get the answer, okay? Like just give the right answer, spit it out, get it immediately. And we're so concerned about if we don't have the right perfect answer, then that reflects on us as a human being. So many times as a young person, we're taught how to think, what to think. We're conditioned to where we literally don't know how to think and make decisions for ourselves. And part of being an entrepreneur and part of being somebody who chases their dreams is developing the skill set of being decisive. Even when you are uncertain of what the answer is, even when you are like, oh gosh, I don't know how I feel about the answer. So some things that I like to coach my clients with when the I don't know thing keeps coming up. I don't know. I'm like, stop. You do know. If you did know, what would the answer be? Tell me immediately. What's your knee jerk? It's amazing how just that simple shift, you get so many answers in your life. I do this to my husband, and it's really funny. Y'all don't judge me. So whenever he does that, and when he watches this, he'll probably crack up because he is a self-proclaimed overthinker. He's pragmatic. He's a 1 on the Enneagram, if you guys know anything about that. He's a C on the DISC test, if you guys know anything about that. And so he's very analytical and likes to, have all those things, every detail lined out. And so if he doesn't have all those things in a row, his knee jerk will be, I don't know. I don't know. And so what I'll do is I'll say, okay, if somebody put a gun to your head right now, what would your immediate response be? And it's amazing. It's amazing how when you do that, the answer magically appears. And that's from my law enforcement days. You'll know that. So, but it's so interesting how even if if you had one more second left on the planet, if you knew just right then that it was do or die, what would the answer be? It's incredible how the answers are there for us, okay? There is an answer to the question. There's a solution to every problem. There is a way. You just may not have discovered it yet. And what so many people do is when the answer isn't right here, when it's not easy, when we have to move through some resistance, we have to pause and we have to be self-aware to go, okay, what am I thinking? What am I afraid of? Let me flip the script here. That we just shut down and we do nothing. That's how procrastination starts. That's why you may be feeling stuck, why all of the things, why you're not taking action, okay? So if you want to live free, if you want to do this thing, okay, if you want to start that blog, write that book, start that ministry, build that business, do the side hustle, whatever it is, you are going to be met with things that you have never done before. I'm here to tell you, okay? You're going to be met with things that you've never done before. Things are going to come up in you that you did not realize, okay? That's why it's so amazing to have a life coach. So amazing to have someone that can help you through that, okay? There are things that are going to be pruned from your life so that you can sustainably live the life that you want to live. So 3 statements that you want to eradicate, okay, or you want to get real wise to and not let them control your life are I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused, and I don't know. Those 3 things, okay, those 3 things put you in a powerless mindset. Those 3 things are and I know I don't want to offend anybody right now, but those 3 things are how victims think. They're not how powerful people think. 3 things that will put you in a place of being a victim, that will put you in a place of feeling powerless are I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused, and I don't know. I want you to begin to embrace how powerful of a human being you are. I believe it's because you are a child of God and His Spirit lives inside of you. So there's answers. There's answers there, okay? And so many times we just need to pause for a second and say, God, what's the answer here? Okay, show me what I'm afraid of. Show me what to do. And then take action. Action is going to give you clarity. You do know. You may be afraid of the answer because it's not perfect or it is something you've never done before. You are feeling confused and you're feeling overwhelmed because of what you are allowing yourself to think. Okay, if you will begin to change your thoughts, okay, to go on the journey of doing that, your life is going to open up. It's incredible. Whether you believe it or not, you are moving in the direction of your most dominant thought. And if your most dominant thought all the time is, oh, that overwhelms me. Oh, that gives me anxiety. Oh, I'm confused. Oh, I don't know. I don't have time for that. You are not living in a powerful state. And so we own our power when we begin to take responsibility and ownership for what we're allowing ourselves to think. Because, and I'll say this over and over again, your thoughts create your feelings. And your feelings are creating your actions. And your action are creating or not creating what your life looks like right now. So I want to encourage you guys today, okay? Because none of us have got our lives together, okay? I want to encourage you to get more aware. I want to encourage you that you can go after your dreams. I want to encourage you that when you begin to go after your dreams, there's going to be resistance. There's going to be things you don't know how to do, and there's going to be some pruning that takes place. Don't hide from it. Go after it. Let the things come up that need to come up. Let the pruning happen. Let the transformation happen. You are not meant to stay hidden. And if God put it in your heart, then it's there for a reason. Okay? Stop doubting that. Stop thinking that it's selfish. Stop thinking that it'll happen one day, someday. You are put on this planet for a very short amount of time. None of us is guaranteed another day. And you guys know I say this all the time when I hop on here, but you are one woman. I know we have some guys on here today, but you're one person. You're one person with one life. One person with one life. You are powerful, more powerful than you realize, and you need to stop apologizing for it. Okay. So Taylor actually asked me a question I want to answer. She said, when you launched your coaching business full-time, how did you leave your position in law enforcement? How did you determine when to do that jump? Okay, so that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so if you don't know my story, Taylor, and those of you watching, I have a wide range of experience in entrepreneurship. I was raised in an entrepreneurial home. I grew up talking about like Dave Ramsey and Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you guys know what that book is. Like my dad and my grandfather were entrepreneurs, and they owned rental properties, and like I grew up in an entrepreneurial household. And that led me into college athletics. I got a full paid college scholarship to ULM, where I'm from here in Louisiana. And even then, like when I was in high school and in college, I was always giving hitting lessons. I even mowed yards, y'all. What 17-year-old girl mows yards? Okay. And like my dad would like send me down to where his rental properties were, some that were in not great neighborhoods, and I'm like out there like mowing the lawns. Okay. So who does that? I did. So I had this entrepreneurial thing in me. Okay. From college to law enforcement was a natural transition because of the fitness component in my life. I actually interned at the police academy and was in charge of the fitness portion, and I love that aspect of it. And I wanted to change the world, and I was always obsessed with like, you know, true crime and law enforcement and real talk. I actually like wanted to be an assassin. I wanted to be in the CIA. I'm just telling y'all, okay? But I got into law enforcement, and I quickly realized that this entrepreneur, free thinker, kind of rebel spirit, that didn't line up super great with a paramilitary organization in the civil service compartment, okay? And there were things that I loved, but for me, bottom line is I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I wasn't getting to see my family. I was newly married. And so what I did, Taylor, is I got involved in a direct sales company. And that direct sales company still pays me to this day residually. And I have made multiple six figures. We're almost at the $1 million mark. Okay. I got started with that company back in November of 2009, and it still pays me today. Okay. Because of the success of that direct sales business, I was able to co-found and start a nonprofit that was completely donation funded within its first year, which is pretty much unheard of. Most nonprofits don't make it within their first year. That has went on to merge and be great for our community. And I was always coaching on the side. Okay. I've always been coaching people in some shape, form, or fashion for a really long time. It's been the thing that's on my heart and what I love to do the most. Even when I was personal training people, I was always life coaching them. I was always somehow coaching them to a better version of their life. And so, but to answer your question specifically, Taylor, so for me, I made the jump first from being in law enforcement to full-time direct sales business. That was my first jump, okay? And how that happened is I built the business on the side to where it paid me, it replaced my salary, okay? To where it replaced it, and it replaced it for at least 3 months. Okay, because if you guys know anything about direct sales or anything about entrepreneurship, nothing is certain. Nothing is like you're not really predicting your income per se, and you've got to be willing to embrace that. And it's such a good point. I'm so glad you brought this up, Taylor, because a lot of people need to understand if they're wired to be an entrepreneur or not. I believe anybody can learn it, but it's okay if you don't want to, and you just need to own that. Like, you're either going to be an employee or an entrepreneur, and we need to distinguish the difference. And so for me, what I did is I built that business to where it at least replaced my salary for 3 months. And then I took the jump, and it got to the point, and that was like risky, like even at that. Like, a lot of people will tell you, wait 6 months, build that thing until it's like, it's taking so much that you can't stay at your full-time business. It's different for everybody. I'm just telling you what I did. I did it to where it was 3 months solid, where it replaced my income. And then I had to take the jump because how it was in law enforcement, you do my particular agency, it was or department, you had to work nights for a certain amount of time and days for a certain amount of time. And while I did that, I was on the day shift, and I was about ready to do the night shift. And I just knew there was no way that it was going to work, because the majority of the calls and the things that I did were with people when they were getting off of work. And so I would have missed them. And so it just wasn't going to happen. And I didn't want to work a night shift anymore. And so I just went for it. And it's interesting how when you make the jump, sometimes when you burn the bridges, how it fuels you to even get to that next level. And so for me, when I made the jump and burned the bridges, it skyrocketed my income to where it not only replaced it, it doubled it, and then it tripled it. And so sometimes you've got to just take the leap. Sometimes you've got to invest in the big coaching group. Sometimes you've got to do something to where you've got so much skin in the game that it's like, hey, there's no like cushion here. We're getting it done. So hope that answered your question. When to make the jump. Actually, that's a great topic for a podcast, and I'll do a whole podcast episode on that for sure. It's going to be different for everybody. And I know that's like the biggest thing that a lot of people with a side hustle struggle with. I would encourage you to look at your life, to look at what you can and cannot tolerate anymore. And so, okay. So Danielle, thank you so much. I so appreciate that. So let me just tell you guys one more thing. I would so appreciate if you guys would do. So I know there's a lot of you on here that do have a side hustle. You do have a business, or maybe you've got a dream to start one, or to start this ministry or this blog or write this book or like do this thing, right? Like you've got this passion, this dream that kind of won't leave you alone. And you know you're ready to take it to the next level. You know you're ready to turn it into a reality. Here's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing some research, okay? I'm looking for some feedback. I'm looking for some people who would be willing to hop on a really quick 15-minute interview with me and give me some feedback about something I'm creating. So I am creating like one of the most epic experiences for people that need business coaching mixed with some really awesome life coaching too, for people that want to take their passion and make it a profitable reality. And I'm just so blown away by God, because he has like just brought the people to me. Like there's this place that we're going to get to go together. Like I really want to create this experience that like has never been done before, like an epic experience for people, like nothing else that's out there. And so I'm in the feedback phase of that, but it's happening like within the next month. So if you want to be a part of that, let me know. But I'm looking for some women that I can interview. I'm wanting to know what your struggles are. I'm wanting to know what you want the most out of a coaching program, what you would want to learn, what you feel like is holding you back. So I'm just looking for like 10 women that would love to hop on a quick little interview with me and let me kind of pick your brain a little bit, get some feedback about what your struggles are, what you need, and what you want to learn, and what would be the best environment for you, and what you really feel like is missing, okay? So if you want to do that, comment or let me know. There's actually a link on the page for my schedule, or you can just email me and my assistant will send you the link. So I'm opening up some spots for that tomorrow, and then I'll have another day next week that we can do that. And so I'm just really committed to taking an intimate, exclusive group of women through this process. And I want to make sure that I am serving them in the best way and providing what they need. Because it's so interesting, when you're at a certain place, you think you know what people need, but it might be like far on down the road. And so I don't know where people are at and what the biggest struggle is and what the tools are that would be the most helpful for them in their unique season. Because here's the thing, and you guys tell me if you think this is true as well, there's so much stuff out there. And like for somebody that is building a business online and building a coaching practice online, and as somebody who's been an entrepreneur since forever, like there are a million different ways to build a business. There are a million different strategies. I need you to understand that. There are a million different ways and they all work. And you need to be able to figure out what your strengths are and what works best for you, and to do that with somebody that has the experience and that you trust to tell you the deal. And so what I wish that I had when I first got started out is somebody that was like, really understood my brand and my business and me and how I operated, and would create something unique for me. And that's basically what I want to do. Let's create your unique plan and strategy, because it's like there's so many people out there that are selling their strategy. We'll just do it my way. We'll just do it this way. We'll just do it that way. And so many people get overwhelmed and confused, and then they do what? Nothing. Okay. So what if you had a strategy that was unique for you? Because I believe that there is one. And it's just a matter of how you're wired and what you want to do. So I'm excited about that. There's more details to come. So if you guys aren't signed up for my email list, get on it. I send out all the updates, encouragement, empowerment. If you guys aren't listening to the podcast, make sure you subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to be a part of that little feedback group that I mentioned, you want to hop on a call with me for just 15 minutes. I'm going to stick around for 15 minutes as well and answer any questions that you have, maybe get some free coaching, because I appreciate your time and helping me out. Just let me know and we'll get that scheduled. But just to recap before we hop off, there are 3 statements that I want you to really tune into and switch your thought life on. I don't know, I'm confused, and I'm overwhelmed. How can you switch those statements today? What's the fear behind them? And I want you to refuse to let those 3 things keep you from chasing your dreams, okay? Remember, overwhelm and confusion is a choice, because you get to choose what you think. And there are some thoughts that are making you feel that way. Change your thoughts and you will change your life. I truly believe that. So, okay, guys, if you want to be a part of that group, the little interview feedback, would so appreciate it. Go to the link on my page, or you can comment below and we'll set that up. Remember, passion is everything. You are a powerful person, and I will talk with you soon.